Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. Welcome to another exciting episode of Frail Conversations. And today, as you've seen from the title, I want to talk about. Well, I don't even know what the title is at this point because I'm gonna be. It's a combination of things I want to talk about. I want to talk about perseverance. I want to talk about resilience. I want to talk about diligence and discipline. I don't know one word that encompasses all of those, but by the time this episode is done, I should have one word. So that's the word that's what we're gonna be talking about. Frail Conversations. That shit. You feel? Matter of fact, I might even title it that just to fuck shit up. Frail Conversation. That shit. And that shit is usually the je ne sais quoi of what makes men men. And I feel like I want to talk about these qualities and shit because sometimes we go down, with these podcasts and, this is what men are supposed to do. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost as if we get kind of cultic with it in a way because we get into it. Yo, this is what a man is. This is what a man's supposed to be. This is what a man's supposed to do. And it's like, it all comes down to the core of, we're high value, protect and provide, bullshit like that. But I think sometimes we don't peel back the layers and go into the uh actual essence of what those things are. You feel what I'm saying? The mark of men, the mark of a man, in my opinion, from my perspective and from the perspective in which I evaluate shit, is that there's certain qualities that you gotta have. It's not just charisma. It's just certain qualities that we embody, that we exhibit and shit is, our persistence, our perseverance, our dedication, our commitment. But specifically those first three, and then I'm gonna add this fourth one: perseverance, resilience, persistence, and diligence, right? And I don't think we spend enough time understanding like those as being the foundational pieces of being men. And I think like because of that, that's what separates a lot of the hard work from the play work. You feel what I'm saying? Where you have the entitlement side of it versus the resulting side of it. You know what I'm saying? And so many of us never gone through some of us never had to have a relentless passion to get through shit. And a lot of times when you lack that relentless power, that relentless passion to persevere, that relentless passion, you know what, I'm gonna call this Frail Conversation Relentless. When you lack that relentless ability to 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 continue to do all the things necessary to achieve a goal, to achieve a system, to maintain certain things, you lose sight of, well, you kind of feel entitled for one, but you lose sight of everything that you're supposed to earn, you know? And when I say earn, I don't mean it in the context of respect is earned. I mean earned in the sense of that I produced the result. This was coming regardless. I had to produce the result, and I was relentless enough to produce the result. A lot of this episode, I don't know if you've been following my social media, but early this week in my stories, I was talking about talk about my beef with Instagram and shit, right? Like, so I know I talk about it a lot, and it's like a lot of that conversation is going to be here, but I talk about my beef with Instagram a lot and social media a lot because they shadow ban me. And if you were around when the pandemic hit, if you were around when that moment happened, and you know what I'm saying, you heard me talk about the Rona, the vaccine, the everything, the science of PCR and shit, like all of that shit, they shadow banned me because of that. Like my podcast was cool. My podcast was cool. Nobody could say anything. I own everything on this shit. Like, so there's nothing that anybody could say. Nobody pulled me because it didn't violate certain shit. Um, but on social media, because of community guidelines and shit, you gotta respect their shit. But they shadow banned me. So I'm gonna go into it after the commercial. But that beef is where that started. But um this now translates to me being able to express the episode on being relentless. And then being relentless is like, you have to understand the difference between relentless and insanity. You have to understand the difference between the different dynamics of what it could be to be relentless. But at the core of it, it's always going to tie you back to being persistent, being persevering, being diligent, and I said for perseverance, persistence, diligent, and I don't know to come to me, but all of those things, in my opinion, embody relentlessness. Those are the qualities and the traits that I see in champions, in men. And yeah, I'm gonna call myself a motherfucking champion on this one, but I'm not gonna do that like over the top type shit. You feel me? Y'all know I got stories for days. So as men, that is the defining factor that separates us when it comes to our results and our rewards and whether we feel entitled or whether we feel deserving. You know what I'm saying? When you feel deserving of something, you don't even in a way, like feeling deserving of something, it's like you don't even feel deserving of it because you know it's yours. Like entitled, you feel like you just want it, but in like you know it's coming. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different reality. So I guess I wanted to shift gears a little bit and talk about that because I wanted to be in an upbeat space and, give my brother some motivation and not even motivation, just inspiration to keep breathing in and keep going. You know what I'm saying? Because some of us are in that space right now where we're still fighting. We're still fighting, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it can get exhausting. It can get exhausting, but you still have to maintain that because that's what's going to push you over to the other side. But before we dive heavy into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram _just_C_. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of the podcast. Not the episode, but the podcast itself. Cash App and PayPal are just fine. And you know the vibes. That's that for this and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into So Frail Conversations. Relentless. And don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So Frail series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the markets for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So take a quick peek into my world to see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it, and you will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. Shazam! Nah, bullshit. All right. Welcome back. I be watching Chappelle's show too much. That's where I got that shit from over there. Shazam! Smoking crack is that. Fuck that. This is Relentless, bro. But anyway, Crackheads is Relentless. So I guess it kind of has a way in there, but fuck it. Anyway, welcome back. Without further ado, let's dive heavy into this motherfucker. So, continuing with what I was saying about the story. So if you've been following my stories, you know what I'm saying, earlier in the week, I kind of detailed, you know what I'm saying, how my jam sessions, my jam/gym sessions is, what I'm calling them now, my gym sessions. They're now in a space where they're auto synced into the metadata of Instagram. So whenever I do my visual, you feel what I'm saying? I put the actual master. It feels good to say that. I put the master of the recording on my shit. So once I clip that and that sound file is submitted and it's uploaded into all the other shit, publishing and all of that, it's now categorized. So it's always gonna count as a stream. So whenever I make a video or make a post with it, and now I use that, it automatically syncs to it and syncs the right part. It says, hey, now we're going to put this in this particular space. Now, reason why I was mentioning that is because as I was telling the stories, because cycling it back to the shadow ban, during the Rona shit and all of that shit, I felt like, look, if you got knowledge, if you got information, if you got shit that you can help people, you feel me? You should tell them. Don't withhold it like the fuck. And I felt like it was my civic duty as a man who had this information to express it. Little did I know, this information would get me shadow banned for 3 years. 3. Now, the wild part about it is that I didn't know that I was being shadow banned. Like, you feel what I'm saying? In a way, because it's like, well, I knew I was being shadow banned, but I didn't pay attention to being shadow banned because of everything I was doing on the other side. You see what I'm saying? Like, I was still running my ads. I was still doing other things. And it was just like, I noticed that I know the moment that it happened. It happened June. It was like June. It was June of 2020 when it happened. It was on several occasions when the mute started. So what happened was a motherfucker said something whenever Joe Biden signed that bill in 2020 that said the trans athletes can compete. I said they erasing women. And once I said that, Once I said that, I noticed that shit started dropping. But it was a gradual process. It was a gradual process. So I wasn't tripping, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, in addition to that, I was also trying to manage 4 different Instagram pages. So if you've been around for a while, you've seen me do that shit because I had now you see it consolidated now. If you know what I'm saying, you see it consolidated just for the ads now. But before I had 4 pages burning myself the fuck out. I had my main page, then I had my podcast page, Mastering the Market page, Hitting the Raw page, the what is that? Podcast page, Mastering the Market, Hitting the Raw, Cafe Clothing, So Frail. I had these 4 pages, and it's like, yo, you got to post all of this motherfucking time. It's like, bruh. So as I'm being distracted, because that's really what it was at the end of the day, I was being distracted by these other pages. I wasn't seeing what was happening with my other page. So I wasn't giving a fuck because even still, I had my podcast. So I'm not paying attention to none of my metrics on my main page. I'm only focused on what I'm getting on my business pages and shit. So when June 20th hit, or when June hit, when Biden signed that shit, that's when my shit started dropping. But I wasn't paying attention because I'm focused elsewhere. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm posting. Rona hit. And I remember who reported me. Like, because now it got to the point where, and it's also going to tie into like why I rebranded, why it's Cafe, and I don't say peace, love, knowledge, and freedom no more, and I only say it on the podcast. It's all going to tie into this. But it's all going to tie into ultimately relentlessness. Right? So when where was I at? So when the motherfucker reported me, I don't know, like the nigga got mad. You feel what I'm saying? Talking about, oh, I thought you was one of the woke ones. Bitch, I am woke, and I'm looking for women. Like, I'm protecting the women. Like, and it's like, my thing was this. Everybody was like, you're against trans women. No, nigga, I'm not transphobic. I'm cisphilic. Like, I actually like women. I don't feel like it's fair that we should be putting men in their sports. They just want to compete. Well, get better and compete against men or compete against other trans men. Like, the fuck, trans women, whatever they are now. That was my thing. Y'all know, I don't know what I did to these people, but they went in and they started reporting all of my captions. So much so I didn't know what was happening. So I'm thinking it's because I was cussing. Because I cuss a lot, profane, profundity and shit. So I'd be typing shit and all of that. So every time I would type a caption, the motherfucker, and listen, I always ended my captions with what? Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. So every time I would type a caption, I get a notification. This caption looks similar to other captions that have been reported. The fuck? Like, so I'm thinking, okay, now it got so fine that I got down to the point where I knew which 2 words it was. Oh, I thought it was either bitch or motherfuckers. So I was like, damn, I done edited this shit out so well. It's either it's because I'm saying bitch or because I'm saying MFS. And I wasn't even saying motherfuckers. I was just saying MFS. And when I was like, who the fuck is reporting my shit with that has MFS in it? And I said, that's damn near every other post I make. So I was like, somebody intentionally went in and did and reported my shit, right? But it was deeper than that. Because even then, every word, every post had peace, love, knowledge, and freedom on it. It wasn't until I stopped, it was like a whole clear post. It wasn't like, I think it was like a real philosophical one. This was probably like about, I'm skipping ahead a little bit because I'm gonna have to piggyback just to show how long it was. So, but this is about 2023, end of 22, beginning of 23, or some shit like that. Or no, mid 23, because I had whenever I had stopped, I shut down all my pages because I had just said fuck it. So I'm starting to pay attention. And then when I post and I said peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and then I hit post and it said this caption looks like other captions that have been reported. So I'm like, wait, I didn't say motherfuckers. I didn't say bitch. I didn't cuss. I said, yo, this is a philosophical post where I'm actually inspired. Nigga, wow. These niggas banned peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, bro. I'm like, wow, you niggas really. So then I started going back and I'm like, how? How did those words, peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, end up being in the pool of words that are reported? Huh. Okay. So then I thought back, right? Because I'm looking at in this process, when it was time, when the Rona shit hit, every post ended with that. When the Rona shit hit, every post ended with that. There was moments when I wasn't saying motherfuckers a bitch or whatever. I was just giving you straight information. I said, damn, that's what it was. And I'm gonna tell you the reason how I know it was, because whenever the fact checkers would come on my page, I would check their motherfucking ass. I had one fact checker. I bodied him. I ethered this nigga. When I say I ethered this nigga, right? He comes on talking about, oh, that's basic biology. I said, okay, cool. So I started breaking it down. Everything. Well, I asked a physician, and so it goes from being basic biology in high school to you having to need to ask a doctor and a geneticist about what I'm talking about. You feel me? And they never shut me down. That was one of the things that it shocked a lot of people. They was like, how is your page still standing? Cause nigga, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I went to school for this shit. Like, you feel me? I didn't leave the school. I didn't leave the school because I couldn't cut it, nigga. I left because of my morals, because of this shit right here. You feel me? All of these doctors and shit, like, I had a problem with that. I said, y'all took the Hippocratic Oath, bro. And now I'm finding out it was just a hypocritic oath. You feel me? It wasn't Hippocratic at all. It was hypocritic because you can't in one breath say that you're doing this for the people, or you're in the space of do no harm first, and then you go and do something that's harmful. And then you convince ignorant people or people that are oblivious to the information that they should do this shit. So I'm rocking, right? I'm rocking and rolling. I'm dropping Rona after Rona after Rona. I'm putting episodes up from the podcast. Hey, Rona part two, this, that, and the third. I'm making connections to the 5G and the Wi-Fi and how the world's gonna change once we come out of this shit. This is the new normal, all of this shit. I did it. You feel me? But it got me muted. And it got me shadow banned for 3 fucking years, bro. Up to 4, like, because I'm literally within this month, I'm just now getting back to numbers that I had post 2020. I'm just now getting back to numbers, and the numbers are doing exceedingly well. They're going far above it. But I didn't notice it because I was paying attention to the other pages. These motherfuckers completely muted me. So when I be talking about the shadow ban and shit, that's where I'm at with it. Like, I was literally beefing with social media, my nigga. Like, I don't think people get that. Like, and I was whooping their ass because they couldn't, like, it wasn't like you're violating community guidelines, because it wasn't violating community guidelines because I never lied. Every fact that was checked out. So they couldn't do shit to me but say, you know what? Let's mute this motherfucker. Let's push this motherfucker's page to the bottom. So when that happened, I'm like, at first I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just not posting enough, or I don't know what the fuck it was. But again, my attention is on 4 other pages, 4 or 5 other pages and brands and shit. I'm burning myself out. And because I'm mentally drained, I'm burnt out. I'm not even giving a fuck about the stats on the main page. You feel what I'm saying? And then I'm starting to look at my other pages and I'm like, yo, the same people that's following me from there is here. Why the fuck do I have multiple? I said, I got to consolidate this shit. So when I finally shut down all the pages that came back, you know, I started looking at my metrics. And out of 7,000 followers, right? That's not a lot, but I'm just speaking in general. Out of 7,000 followers, even with 7,000 followers, I was reaching 30, 40,000 people at a time. So when people was like, yo, you get your follow, I don't have to get my followers up because my content is that dope. I'm going to reach 30,000 people. You feel what I'm saying? That was it wasn't something that I was worried about. But, and this was before reels, this was before video, like heavy videos and shit. I was just slide to motherfucker, reaching 30,000 people off 7,000. So I'm coming back and I'm only reaching 3,000 people. And I'm like, and now because it's familiar faces that are constantly liking my shit, I'm like, all right, the familiar faces is here. But I'm like, it's faces I don't see anymore at all. And I'm like, what have I been missing? You feel what I'm saying? And I'm going to get to the point of the relentlessness and shit like that. But I'm telling you, nigga, I battled a giant, nigga. The fuck? So I'm in a space where it's like, I remember in between that, another thing that I think got me kind of silenced was when I did a jam session off of WAP. Whenever WAP came out, I did I don't know if y'all remember that. I don't even have that file anymore. It's gone. Like, it's gone. I had to completely delete. Now, mind you, in this process, when me coming back, I had to delete over 15,000 posts just to get out of the band. Now, y'all know how frequent I post. Y'all know how much I was posting. Like, I had to delete like 15,000 posts. Now, Instagram since, I don't know, I ain't gonna say they did this to me because I'm just one motherfucker, but Instagram since is updated to where you can delete multiple posts at a time. You feel me? You can go scroll down, delete like 100 at a time or whatever the case may be. But at the time when I had to delete everything, you had to do one by one. You had to do one by one. And I deleted 15,000 posts, 15 plus, over 15,000 posts. I had to delete them one by one just to get myself out of the shadow ban because I didn't know which post it was. only to find out. So I deleted that shit, untagged. I had to untag myself from everybody's posting that I was associated with. Now that's fucked up because now that fucks up a whole different demographic and audience of people that I had. Because it's like when I was doing videos, when I was doing meetups with people, they would tag me in that shit. I had to untag myself out of that shit because I'm like, I don't know where this fight is coming from. So I'm untagging myself and all of that shit. When I deleted all 15,000 posts, removed myself from co-collaborators on all of these different posts and shit like that, and I got bare bones, I still have 40 posts on my page. I checked my reels. I checked my everything was completely naked. These motherfuckers had intentionally archived somehow. They archived 40 posts that could keep me shadow banned. They still got these posts archived. I don't know what these posts are. I have no idea what they are, but I can't keep doing the delete shit to try to figure the shit out. But now I learned how to beat the motherfucker. So I'm gonna tell y'all about that shit. So in this motherfucker, they like, all right, bet. You still got 40 posts that gotta be deleted. I'm like, where are they? So I go to the who got me tagged. I untag myself out of those. It come down a little bit, still like 30 something. Then I'm like, I go to my archives, there are no posts there. So I said, oh, y'all niggas is keeping these shits on the backside. And you're letting me know we got them on the backside because you're showing me that I still got 30. Like my shit can never go down to zero. My page can never go down to 0 posts. You feel me? When I stripped everything down and I got to, matter of fact, it was just before my 33rd birthday. Matter of fact, on my 33rd birthday, that's when I finally had everything done. And it was just that one picture of me saying, yo, 33 years, I'm grateful I'm alive. And I built it off of that. I've been building it off that one page, but in that one post, I still had 30 something posts left. I'm like, I ain't got but one, nigga. Like the proof is here. I'm not tagged in anything. I don't have any reels. Like I only have one fucking post. And you telling me I have 30? All right. That's y'all have archived on the backside the very posts that keep me shadow banned. And I don't have the luxury of creating a new page. I'm not about to. That's not what I'm gonna do. I put too much time and energy into one that I have right now. So I said, I got two options. Shut this page down and build from scratch, have to reconnect that shit to my advertising, my business manager, for my ads and all of the shit, reconnect to so much shit, wait for the name _ scene. It's mine, so I can't do shit with that name anymore. So I'm like, all right, y'all want to play. So this is where, you know what I'm saying, I started to understand how the algorithm was working. So again, I'm building this shit. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me change my whole shit. I can't say peace, love, knowledge, and freedom no more. So let me say Paula Cafe. Paula Cafe was already coming anyway out of Paula Cafe clothing because this was another transition that I was making. I said, I'm not going to do Just Scenes merch anymore because it's merch. The fuck? Like, that don't sound right. When I feel like, yo, this is just merch, it makes people feel like it's no quality in it. No, fuck that. Everything I do, I put my heart and soul in. So everything is quality. So let me change the name. So I changed it to Paula Cafe clothing when I still had the other pages. You feel me? But then it's like, now that I'm bringing it back, I'm like, all right, we here. So I'm trying to generate a hashtag, Paula Cafe, just seen, Paula Cafe, just seen. What am I forgetting? That these niggas still got me shadow banned by words. It don't matter like what my hashtag is. So if I say peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, if I say MFS, it's like, nigga, we got you. You ain't going nowhere. So I was like, all right, this is how they keeping me banned. So I said, there's a way that I can still expand there's a way that I can still expand in the manner in which hashtags will get you, but I have to figure out what that is. Right. So this is why I was saying, tying it back to the stories that I was posting and shit, talking about, how the shadow man got me, how I flipped it and started making it about content, about my jam sessions. So I'm still able to say Paula Cafe. I don't post it in the words anymore. I now, at the end of my jam sessions, after I finish doing all my rapping, I say Paula Cafe. Because when I used to rap, you feel me? I used to say motherfucker or bitch or like, you know what I'm saying? I end it with a hard, now I just end it with Paula Cafe. After I give you all of these bars and shit and everything that I want to say, I'm gonna say Paula Cafe. Now I leave enough room at the end of the flow and the beat to, give you about 10, 9 seconds, something like that, just Paulo Cafe, and then you hear the rest of the song. And now I associate that with the music. So that's the new hashtag, because I don't know if y'all noticed this, but if you click the song or whatever the case may be, it'll open up like a small web on my page. So now every jam session that I do, it now has content associated with it, my content, reels and videos and shit like that. And then, like I said, with the metadata sync to it, it now connects that way. So now, with the backside of this shit, right? Because I now have the deal with them. Well, it's not a deal, but it's like when I submit my music and it goes to social media and shit, and they, post it, for every time it's played, they get 20% out of, you know what I'm saying? They give me 80, they take 20. I'm not mad at that shit, but it keeps me out of the shadow ban. Not only does it keep me out of the shadow ban, it makes them pay me to do the shadow ban. I know it's like, yo, you paid them 20%. Yeah, but they do. Now they're in the spot to generate me the 80%. You see what I'm saying? And so every time I post, it's like, all right, now I'm going to end it with Paulo Cafe. Oh, bitch, y'all ain't going to beat me. Y'all ain't going to beat me. Now, mind you, I battled with these niggas. I battled with social media for 4 years, bro. 4 years. All because, you feel me? And this is when I don't know if y'all remember when I made the post that said, community guidelines is how the government usurps freedom of speech. You feel me? Community guidelines is how the government usurps freedom of speech. Yeah, you have freedom of speech in public forums, but you don't have freedom of speech in private sectors. Social media is a private sector. Yeah, it's open to, it's free. It's a private sector, free to the public. You feel what I'm saying? The community guidelines and the terms and conditions is how they usurp freedom of speech. This is why you can't say what you just, it's my page. It ain't your page. It's your rental space. And you're renting it for free. So kind of got to shut the fuck up. But it's your rental space. So you can't tell the owner what you're going to do with the rental space. I get it. You're not paying for it. Some of us are, the $14.99 a month. Even still, you're paying for rental space. That's it. This is digital real estate now. That's what you're paying for. And so in understanding the terms and conditions, I said, oh, that's how they do it. I had never violated a term and condition before in the past, up until it was time for Rona. Suddenly, I'm the king violator. Like every time I post, beep, your post goes against. Well, tell me what I said, and they can never tell me what it was that I said. I don't know what I to this day I still don't know what post it is, but I'll put money on this one of those 30 that they keep it in the archive. It's one of those 30 that they keep it in the archive for their reasons, for their research purposes. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna beat y'all again, because now if y'all gonna motherfucking act like I can't say what the fuck I want to say, I'm gonna say what the fuck I want to say. So I put it in my music. Now, it's like saying, when are you going to get to the topic of the episode about relentlessness? The whole thing is relentless. You feel me? There's a persistence, there's a perseverance, there's a dedication, there's a diligence that you have to have whenever you're deciding that this is what you want to do. When there's something that you want to do. And I want to talk about this like this because when it comes to us as men, a lot of times we're called perfectionists. A lot of times we're called certain things to give us negative connotations for the relentlessness that we have. And no, some of us realize I know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing, and you can't stop it. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're not going to stop it. So I'm using that story to show the relentlessness about me battling a conglomerate. You feel me? And I'm like, yo, nigga, it's just me, bro. It's just saying, bro. Like y'all act like, nigga, I'm famous and shit. Y'all like I really got pulled. Like I really can motherfucking shut some shit down and shit. But then when I consider what I was connected to, because in addition to that, I'm still promoting So Frail. In addition to that, I'm still promoting Hitting It Raw. In addition to that, I'm still promoting Mastering the Market and Inflate with Inflation. I'm still promoting these things. And they're like, this motherfucker could really pull everybody out of the system, bro. And we can't do shit about it. Because I don't know if y'all remember. I don't even remember what episode it was. But this was probably like season 9. I mentioned this shit. I was like, yo, I beat the game. I put him in checkmate. I wasn't saying it to be funny or arrogant or cocky. I beat the game. Like, because if the way in which I set myself up is, and everybody that I teach and things like that, like if everybody just took the time to believe in themselves and took the time and learn how to day trade, everything stops because nobody would have to go to work. Therefore, the businesses would not run. Therefore, there wouldn't be any. I said, if we really want to end the whole dollar, you feel me? Stop trying to create a new dollar and new shit like this and learn how to trade and invest. When everybody knows how to do that, there's no business to fund. Therefore, there's no money to be made. Therefore, what? Money disappears. It stops. I know that. I know that. Them niggas know that. Them niggas know that I know that. You feel what I'm saying? And I know them niggas know that I know that them niggas know I know that. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, they don't want everybody else to know that. So when you're monitoring the page and you seeing this shit, it's like, okay, he's talking about masculinity in a world where we're trying to make sure men are not like. That's why when I talk about the Kellogg nigga and shit and cornflakes and shit, they don't want what I embody. They don't want other men to embody. They allow certain shit. Like there's certain motherfuckers that they'll allow to run and do their thing, but certain motherfuckers they gotta stop. Because not only do I talk about masculinity, I talk about using masculinity to pull yourself out of the system. I talk about eating right. I talk about certain shit that's like, yo, you crumble our platform. I know, nigga. I went to the other side. Y'all shouldn't have showed me. Y'all shouldn't have showed me. When I got to med school, and I realized y'all niggas was on some bitch made shit. All right, all right. The pharmaceutical companies own med schools. Nigga, they fund the medical schools. Like, nigga, you only learn what they want you to learn. That's why, and I started realizing it while I was in med school. Like, I can't tell this motherfucker to take a holistic route. No. And like I was saying, when I was about to go to naturopathic school, they was like, what do you say? And this was, look, y'all, no bullshit. I don't know if y'all remember me telling y'all this. In 2014, after I left med school and shit, I was healing from, my grandmother dying and shit. And I'm applying for my naturopathic school. They said, how do you see yourself incorporating uh naturopathic medicine with the pharmaceutical companies in 10 years? This was 2014, we're 2024. Look what happened. When they said that shit, I'm telling motherfuckers like, nah, y'all, I don't want to be a part of this. Motherfuckers like, you can still make a change. You can look what change was made, my nigga. Population control. You feel what I'm saying? Population control. As a man, you're gonna face many times in your life where you gotta stand on what the fuck you say you're gonna stand on. And that's where your relentless nature has to come in. I don't give a fuck what everybody else say. You cannot bend to your shit and say, I just gotta roll over. Nah, nigga, I gotta figure a way around it. I only went to med school anyway so I could be a forensic pathologist so I can figure out so I can study disease, figure out how to reverse them and keep people living longer. Nigga, I did that with plants and didn't even have to graduate. To fuck. And I was able to write a book off of it and turn it into a bag. Nigga, all right, fuck them. You feel me? I did this. I ended up with the same fucking result. Same fucking result. Excuse me. And a result that at the end of the day, the most they can do is call me crazy. They can't strip me of shit. Now, had I been a doctor telling motherfuckers, hey, yo, I studied PCR, this, that, and the third, there would be no Justine, bro. There would be no Justine podcast. There would be none of that shit. They would have took me the fuck out. You know why? Because I got the status and the credentials to make motherfuckers change their mind. The most you can do right now is call me crazy and call me a pseudo scholar and shit like that. Nigga, I learned from y'all institutions. But did you finish? No, I didn't. Okay, well, that's where it is. But did you finish? No, I didn't have to because the fact that I'm on the same level as the niggas that did, and I'm able to see beyond the motherfuckers like, yo, hey, why should I have to go, bro? Like, you feel me? It's like LeBron James and shit. Like, you feel me? He didn't need to go to college. And it's niggas that went to college that ain't even touched what LeBron touched yet. You feel what I'm saying? Like, hey, if you got it, you got it. Shout out to the med school cohort. Shout out to my Ross family and shit. I still fucks with y'all, yo. I really ain't fuck with one person, but one person and shit. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, so let me bring it back. So yeah, you gotta, as a man, is that relentless nature is what you're gonna have to stand on. It's gonna be something that you're gonna have to persevere through everything. You feel what I'm saying? So when I started looking at how my page was getting like muted and shit, it was like, all right, bet. Basically, in the sense that because of the way in which I was doing it for free, like I had people joining Mastering the Market, I had people getting hitting it raw and joining the courses and shit like that, and I didn't have to pay nothing to do it. Nothing. They made me pay to play. They made me pay to play. So even when I was, I was doing guerrilla marketing and shit, and it was working. It was working, but again, they still made me pay to play. You feel me? Because I was like, nah, and I ain't gonna hold you. The guerrilla marketing I was able to do for free, but again, it gets time consuming. It gets too burning out. It burns me out too much. to know that I gotta do the same level of shit with 5 different brands. Fuck that. I'm just gonna do that shit for the month, bro. I'm gonna run some ads. At the end of the day, I just figured I gotta do that, like, for real. And it does the same shit, but at the same time, so I was able to incorporate the guerrilla marketing with the social media advertising. So now I just, run it to the whole audience and shit. Now I build it and shit, and I section off who's who and what's what. I create a good ass ad copy for the 30 days that I'm gonna run it. And then I separate, like, I make sure that if you see the ad, you won't see it again for 3 days. That particular one, but now you're up for the other 4. You see what I'm saying? So you may see you may see So Frail on Monday, but for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So for the next 3 days, you're not gonna see So Frail, but you're gonna see the other ones. You're possibly gonna see the other ones. And the one that you see, it now goes into a 3-day pool. So now it keeps you in the loop of every 3 days, you're gonna see about 2 ads from me. And again, if I'm entertaining you motherfuckers, because again, this is like, I look at it like I look at it like a TV show and shit. Like, I'm entertaining y'all all day. I'm giving y'all captions. I'm giving y'all funny posts. I'm finding all the shit, bringing it all together, giving y'all philosophical shit. And then you're going to see an ad at some point in the day of mine. You feel me? And if you don't, it's because you've already seen that one and you'll see it again in 3 days. In some way, you're going to see it in your stories. You're going to see it in your reels, or you're going to see it on your feed somewhere. But at the same time, it's like, that comes from understanding the basics of the backside of it. Is like, I got to keep this shit in people's faces. There's no way around it. And I got to keep it in people's faces, and I can't keep getting burnt out. Something's going to give. You feel me? At some point, something's going to give. And that's when it ties into how people say your relentless, and I'm addressing this too, your relentless nature can become insanity. And people from the outside in can see insanity. And it can be insanity if you're not making a necessary pivot when it's time to. Those first couple years when I was, making all of the content for all of the different brands, bruh. If I had hair then, that's definitely would have made me lose it. But it was that relentless nature became insanity because I wasn't trying to make it simpler for myself. You see what I'm saying? This is something that we do as men. The champion in us, the gladiator in us, sometimes it won't simplify the shit because of our relentless nature. You see what I'm saying? Now, that's not to say that that's a bad thing or anything like that, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a reality that we follow, that we do, is because, they program us the wrong way as men. Like, because we're not adding analysis and deconstruction and shit, and we don't look at men from the true masculine space, we look at men as the masculine space of constantly conquering, we miss the reality of, yo, this is insane. I'm relentless right now. I'm at it, but this is insane. So again, when I tie that into the analysis and deconstruction and shit, I'm like, all right, bet. How do I continue to persevere, be persistent, be diligent, and commit to this process without overwhelming myself anymore? Shut these pages down. Nigga, no, you know how much work I put in? By that time, I had 2,000 followers on Paula Cafe Clothing. I had about 3 on the Just Seen podcast. I had 1,700 or so on Hitting It Raw. And then So Frail Books had about 700 or some shit like that. And I'm like, nigga, I ain't gonna make no heavy traction till each one of these has about 54,000 people. That's how I'm thinking in my head at the time. Because again, I'm on some guerrilla marketing shit, and I'm like, I'm not paying these motherfuckers, bro. Fuck them. And I'm like, shit. And I started thinking like, yo, realistically, and then that's when it hit me. I'm like, so realistically, I'm asking myself, can you get 54,000 separate people? Like, your audience, I had to realize I have a unique audience pool, and I had to respect that. Like, my audience pool is quote unquote all over the place because I'm all over the place, but I'm where I'm supposed to be. You feel what I'm saying? And my audience pool is like, yo, bro, you everywhere. Like, you're making books, you're writing books, and it's not like you're all over the place and it has no meaning to it. You know what I'm saying? It works. Everything fits and it works the way it is for the brand. But you have to think about it like this. When the people have to get to know you, they have to get to know you again in each one of these veins. So, seen as the podcaster is quote unquote different, according to how social media works, is different from seeing the author. You shouldn't be using profanity if you're an author. You have such an extensive vocabulary. Bitch, when I'm fucking writing, I ain't writing right now. I'm talking. Shut the fuck up. Rude. I do not want to be like, there's little shit like that you got to go with. You got to deal with this shit on a regular basis. So I'm like, I got to flip this bitch on his head, bro. I got to flip this bitch on his head because seen as the hitting it raw guy is different from seen as the, what's one of my other brands? Podcasts. Because I don't want to use podcasts and books again. And the investing and trading guy. There's different. It's like, what qualify, bitch, experience, nigga. Like, it's hard to tell a motherfucker that, oh, you wrote a book on hitting it raw. Yeah. Well, what qualifies you to talk about trading and investing? Bitch, the same shit that qualifies me to talk about hitting it raw. Bitch, I studied, I learned the shit, and I applied the shit, and I got the experience and understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But you can't just tell a motherfucker that. Because now you have to build that confidence again in a whole nother realm. You feel me? And one of the biggest things that defeated me the most is when I finally did the Master in the Market page. I got so discouraged in a way because honestly, there would have been no iwi. There would be no iwi right now. Because when I started Master in the Market, so many people were trying to steal from me. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm teaching you how to make money. Why would you try to play me on that? One person got away with the shit, bro. It was like, yo, bro, I'm ready to get in the game. Yo, I'm going to learn this, that, and the third. I'm like, I bet, cool. I opened the course up to the motherfucking shit. Motherfucker, I'm like, bet. He finished it all in 30 days and requested a refund. To this day, I don't know if the nigga downloaded my shit, created a whole new course pattern, or all of that shit. Like, I'm like, shit like that I had to deal with, bro. And I'm like, never again. Never again, motherfuckers. All right, I open up the content after you complete 30 days because you're not playing me. Nobody's going to play me like that again. You feel what I'm saying? But these are some of the silent battles that I had to deal with. You feel me? This is a part of the relentless nature and shit of what you want. It doesn't matter if it's just entrepreneurship or whatever. These are relentless. The part of the relentlessness is those silent battles that you have to deal with to continue yourself. I never have to go through those battles again. Fuck no, nigga. No, nigga. I wish I would, because I learned that time. But it was like so many things. Like I'll say, if you get the ebook, send me a copy of the receipt, and I do. Motherfuckers are just. I remember one time. This was with Hitting the Raw. I said, buy the ebook and you get into the course free. So motherfuckers, I said, but you got to buy the ebook directly from my website, not from Amazon or whatever the case may be. This motherfucker goes to the thing, takes a screenshot of him almost finishing. Like, you know how you put the card information in and shit? I said, that's not a receipt for confirmation, nigga. Like, you ain't getting no course. Why you try to play me, bro? Like, the fuck? And it's like, you try to play me over $5. The ebook is $4.99. I get it. You wanted to get in the course. So, you wanted to get in the course so you can learn all the science about, how to do the shit right. But nigga, you were going to get that for free if you paid $5.99. Why'd you try to play me for $5, bro? Never again. Never again. I start shutting pages down. Because I'm like, they're winning. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Not in social media at this point, but because I'm so all over the place, this is when the relentlessness becomes insanity. I'm so all over the place, I'm not paying attention anymore. You see what I mean? Don't let your relentless nature get you into a point. And I'm not saying relentless, don't be relentless, but don't let it get you to the point where you're not using reality. You're using insanity because, yeah, you're committed and you're getting the shit done and you're making the necessary shit. But when you can no longer function and pay attention no more, you got to stop and reevaluate. Because they were able to play me on some shit. And I remember when it really hit, it was 2021 or 22. 22. No, 21. End of 21, 22. Somewhere. It was one of those, in one of those. One of my homeboys, his page got hacked. Now, mind you, he got my phone number, bro. He got my phone number, right? I'm so locked in that I get his DM and shit. He like, hey, bro, I'm in a bind. I need about 100. And I'm like, all right, no biggie. Boom. I said, give me the Cash App information. He said, you got to send it to my girl, though. First red flag, but I didn't even pay attention to it. First red flag. And I'm like, boop, boop, boop. Sent him some. And then he's like, yo, bam, matter of fact, I was like, nah, bro, I ain't got to. When he asked for more, I was like, I'm like, nigga, you got my damn. So I know, before I even said, nigga, you got my number, right? I texted him, I said, bro, tell me that's you. He said, nah, bro, they hacked me. He said, tell me you ain't paid. I said, damn, these niggas done got me for a bean, bro. He said, My bad, bro. I said, it ain't your fault, bro. He said, man, I was like, yo, he said, I got your number though. He said, I was like, nigga, I know. It didn't register until after I sent the bread. I was so focused and my relentless nature had got me so wired. I wasn't even paying attention to the realities anymore. I was just like, yo, business, 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 bill, 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 bill. And it had taken me away from, I'm like, yo, he got your phone number, bro. If he really needed some bread, he would have asked you. Like, and he had never asked you for bread before. Like, that's the difference in that. You feel what I'm saying? He had never asked me for bread before. And I'm like, all right, bro, I got you. And then his page got hacked. So then I said, nah, bro, you ain't even my man's, bro. I said, look, yo, y'all need to log out his page before I report y'all and I get y'all for scamming and shit. Cause I know, I said, what I say? I was just fucking with him. But I said, yeah, and I got your motherfucking location too. I pinged your shit. Yeah, you got me, but I'm about to find your motherfucking ass and I like to travel. They ain't DM me no more and shit. Now he got his page back, but I won't go search for no niggas and shit like that. But the point of that was, you get to a point where you can be distracted by your relentless nature. It becomes an obsession, and everything on the outside world no longer matters. You feel me? So there has to be that fine balance between understanding your perseverance and your commitment and your discipline and all of those things, but understanding that you still have to maintain the clarity. And that's what I was losing. By having all of these different pages, I was losing the clarity. Yeah, it was working. It was, producing results, but then it was like the clarity was going away because I wasn't paying attention no more because it just get this shit done. I'm tired. Get this shit done. I'm tired. Burnout is a motherfucker. And burnout is a result of being relentless without the understanding. Burnout is a result of being relentless without clarity, without stopping to observe the clarity. I went straight. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand how long I've been doing the same thing over and over again. You feel me? Inflate with inflation, master the market, all of these different things. I've been doing the same shit, building it consistently, nonstop, because I couldn't stop. I didn't feel I had the luxury of stopping or even taking a break. If I would have took some breaks in between this shit, I can't say it would have happened a lot faster because books still had to be written. Like, things had to be done. But all of that was to say, from there, I started saying, you know what? Shut all these motherfucking pages down. Shut all these pages down and bring it back to Justine. Come back to Justine and find out I battled a conglomerate and these motherfuckers was whooping my ass. And I was still fighting, but I didn't know that I was fighting. They muted me. They silenced me. They shadow banned me and shit. So I'm like, now everybody's like, so what are you gonna do? Like, how you going? And then Apple did they bullshit too, but I ain't gonna talk about that. Y'all know the Apple bullshit was like, yo, we can't track. Nigga, how you expect me to even find my audience now, bro? Y'all ain't tracking? Fuck. All right. Shit. I gotta figure something new out. And then I go through this whole year and a half battle with these niggas only to find out, oh, you don't have to do this anymore because Apple allowed. Nigga, what the fuck y'all? Why y'all play with us for? Why y'all play with us for? But now it gave me some valuable skills that, you know what I'm saying, that I could transfer and use in the future and shit that ultimately apply into this situation right here. So as I shut down the other pages and shit, come back to Justine, and now I'm having to rebuild this motherfucker. Like, it gets defeating. Like, when you climb a mountain, I'm gonna give y'all a little nugget right quick. When you climb a mountain and you reach the peak and you fall from that motherfucker, you don't want to climb it again. Especially when you know how long it took you to climb that motherfucker. You know the whole path, that you know everything. You know what the peak feels like. You know what the peak is like. And now you're like, I don't want to do it again. It's one thing to climb a mountain for the first time. There's no expectation. There's no standard. There's nothing. To climb a mountain again is different because you have the expectation. You have the rule. You have the resources, the tools, everything that you need, and you have to climb it again. And you can't go fast. Like, nigga, what? It's like you end up realizing that I got to go the same pace I did when I climbed it up the first time, regardless of what I have. Yeah, I could take shortcuts, but then because I have so much information now, I realize I can't take these shortcuts. I got to go this way. I got to go that way. I got to move like that. That shit different. Having to shut down all of my pages and come to terms with the reality that, y'all, this is different. This is different. I had to delete over 15,000 posts to clear the quote unquote cache and I still couldn't clear the shit because these niggas kept shit in pockets. So I'm like, all right, man, I don't even want to do this shit no more. I hit that point. I was like, I don't even want to do this shit no more. And right around the time that happened, this is when I started watching I think the Redeem Team. And I watched Kobe's backstory. And I'm like, oh, you lucky. Oh, you lucky, nigga. Oh, y'all lucky y'all put Kobe right here and y'all put the Redeem Team on that shit. And it happened to be the Redeem Team. And as I'm watching the story with the Redeem Team, one of the things that stuck out is like, again, Kobe's a motherfucker. Speaking of, I'm saying Kobe because he was trained by this guy named Tim Grover. Tim Grover wrote this book called Relentless. Every man, I feel, should read that book. If you are serious about developing yourself in life and you are serious about actually having that the consistency and that dedication to continue to push through when all things are hard and it's hard to get through, read Relentless, bro, by Tim Grover. I promise you it's a good book. I promise you. And I'm watching Kobe's story, and it's like Kobe had to come back from the climbing a mountain, bro. He climbed the mountain with Shaq or whatever the case may be, then the Colorado shit and all of that. He had to come back and climb another mountain. This is why Kobe is my favorite basketball player. This is why I feel like Kobe is the best basketball player in the league, and it has to ever play. And it's not just because he's Kobe or whatever. It's more so what he had to overcome. Nobody had to overcome what Kobe overcame and to do it equally twice. Number 8 and number 24 is damn near the same motherfucker, minus a ring. Yeah, 24 only got 2 rings, and number 8 got 3. But check the stats; it's split down the middle. So for me, when I see that, I'm like, damn, he climbed the mountain, fell, and climbed that bitch again. The same, like he did it twice. You feel what I'm saying? His 2 rings as 24, in my opinion, and probably I ain't gonna say his. In my opinion, his 2 rings have more value than the 3 rings he won when he was number 8. You feel what I'm saying? And to know that you can retire 2 jerseys with equal stacks, that's power, bro. But that shows the tenacity and the relentlessness in him. And as I'm watching my own, like watching the Redeem Team and shit, and it's like when he came back with that Olympic team, and then he had that on the shoulders to say, "Bet now I got to shift this." He had to become a whole different person, right? He had to become a whole different person in order to get through that. So there's a level that comes with your relentless nature that's going to transform you. Some of y'all are seeing the final pieces of the transformation right now as it's playing out on my social media, but some of y'all are new to the final. Y'all are just here, and it's the transformation's already happened. You know what I'm saying? So some of y'all will watch the different processes and shit respectfully, and I mean this with the utmost respect. Y'all watch me go from 8 to 24. You see what I'm saying? Ain't shit changed. Like if you remember when I first started, like 2015, 16ish, when I was posting this shit, I have random posts and shit, still the caption king, doing all this other shit. Now post like it seemed all over the place still. I post a book thing and shit like that. I'm doing that exact same shit now. Only thing is now I'm leveraging it a different way. Now you see the ads running in the background, doing the same shit. 8 and 24. And you makes me think of that commercial with him and Kanye where he like, but are you a different animal, but the same beast? I get what that means. Even at the time when Kanye was like, what the fuck are you talking about, Kobe Bryant? He's like, you're welcome. I didn't get it because I'm like, same animal, different beast. A different animal, but the same beast. I get it. I'm a whole different animal now. I even use examples of the shit with, cheetahs, spiders, and shit like that. I'm a whole different animal, but the same beast. And because you still had that same relentless behavior, that relentless tenacity that is within you, because you're still going to push through, give the discipline, give the determination, have all of these different things to achieve the goal that you want. You see what I'm saying? When you're in a world that values rewards and entitlement, discipline and results are hard. And sometimes, even if your results are little, if you're not producing rewards with your results, a lot of times you might feel like you're not producing results. You see what I'm saying? One of the things that I had to learn early on, and I say this regarding, us as men, keep metrics of yourself. Keep metrics of yourself. If you go to the gym, you already know they say keep a log, but as on a grander scale, keep metrics of yourself. Write down the results that are produced by the shit that you do. You feel what I'm saying? When I was trying to get, like, when I was working on analytics and shit, that I learned to apply that to my life. You know what I'm saying? What metrics am I producing? Because that shows me, am I getting the desired result? Hey, bro, for real though, at some point we got to stop talking to women about masculinity and start talking to each other about it. And I mean really talk to each other. Not as enablers and co-signers, but as men trying to reach the pinnacle of our essence. And that's what the So Frail series does. So Frail 1 is the definition. So Frail 2 is the acknowledgement. And So Frail 3 is the resolution. If you rock with the So Frail conversations, I can guarantee you will rock with the So Frail series of books. So visit IamJustSaying.com right now so you can add the series to your library. I promise you will never look at masculinity the same again, and you're going to stop wasting your time arguing with women about it. This is a conversation that men need to have between men, and it's time we start having this conversation now. You feel what I'm saying? One of the most recent things that have recently changed, and I did this intentionally because I needed to know that every time I loaded the clip, I'm shooting. Every time I loaded the clip, I'm hitting the target. So for a long time, if you follow me on Instagram and exclusively on Instagram, chances are you never seen any of my ads until now. Because I was intentionally running them solely to Facebook. You feel what I'm saying? So if you flop back and forth between Facebook and Instagram, if you are in the Instagram pool, they connected you to Facebook, and then I will run the ads to you on Facebook. Right? The reason why I did this because I needed to test my metrics. I needed to test my results. And I needed to test my results in the shadows. Like, my thing was, when I finally get this shit right, there's no foot off the gas. I promise you, there's no foot off the gas. I'm just taking the fuck off. Right. So in between that, I'm analyzing my metrics and I'm only running to Facebook. I'm like, if I can get it to move the way I need it to move with the audience that I'm not really engaging with, I got this shit in the bag. You feel what I'm saying? So connecting to the resiliency, that's what it was. It was resiliency, discipline, perseverance, persistence, and not dedication. And why do I want to say dialogue? Fuck it. I don't know. Y'all, I said them earlier. Let's keep flowing. I don't want to fuck it up. So I'm in the backside of that shit. So if you seen my shit on Facebook, chances are it's because you came from Instagram. So now Facebook is finding you, putting you there. So now this is when it was hard because it's like, I don't have none of the social proof on Facebook that I have on Instagram. And what I mean by social proof is that on Instagram, I got 7,000 followers and shit. And people constantly, continually engage with my shit. So when people see my posts, they see names in my shit. You feel me? They're friends and all of that other shit. Facebook, I had following the Just Seen Facebook page or profile page, or whatever they call that shit. I ain't had but like 148 followers. So I'm like, nigga, I gotta put up high quality numbers with no social proof. You feel me? So I'm like, let me make sure that I can follow my metrics. What metrics do I need? Okay, here's the desired result. In that development, I had to realize you need to understand. In order to measure a desired result, you have to understand what the measurements are. How are you measuring yourself? Oh, I woke up today and I posted. Okay, what were you looking to achieve? You feel me? I know that when I need to reach master in the market audience, I need to see at least, let's say, for every 100 people I advertise to, I need at least 10 of those people to click the link. You feel what I'm saying? Every hitting the raw, like, it got to a point where it got so fluid that I was like, oh, I know how to hit this. Like, I can hit this with my eyes closed. I can set up an ad campaign right now that I know is going to give me the numbers I'm looking for on Facebook. So my reality was, if I can do this with no social proof, nigga, it's cake when I bring it to the area that's where social proof is, right? But I had to do this for so long because I needed the data. And I'm saying that part because I'm mentioning, like, if you never seen my ads and shit, chances are, if you're listening now, if you've been listening within the last year and a half, maybe, you mainly came from Instagram. Mainly came from the Instagram all this shit. You've been here since day one. But if you're kind of new to this, you came from Facebook. You saw the ad on Facebook, you clicked the link, and then you feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was. And then you had to come to my Instagram page, which is wild because a lot of the people that have seen my shit were not people that were on my Instagram page, but they had been affiliated with my Instagram page because people were sharing my shit. And somebody you knew liked my shit. Somebody you saw, and it's like there's no connection there. So it was 100% bare. And I was still able to put up the numbers I was needed to put up. So what I mean by that is like when you're looking for a certain metric, like a good, let's say for ads, a good ad generates about 20 to 30 cent per conversion, right? That means every 20 to 30 cents per conversion. So that means for every dollar I put in, right, I'm basically going to get I'm probably going to get about 3 to 5 people for every dollar that I put in per however many hundred I'm looking at. You see what I'm saying? For every dollar I put in, I'm going to meet that many people. Now, my goal was I had to tie guerrilla marketing into this. How the most amount of people that I can get for the least amount of money. You feel what I'm saying? So now when I got it down to where even putting in, let's say, putting in $3 a day, and I'm still able to I'm putting in $3 a day and I'm able to reach, say, about 400 or 500 people. You feel me? Those numbers weren't realistic. They were happening, but they weren't realistic. If you set up an ad campaign, it'll tell you, hey, you're only going to reach with that amount of money. You're only going to reach about 50 to 60 people, 50 to 100 people. And I was tripling that. Because I knew how to set this shit up the way I needed it to go because of the metrics and the shit that I put in. I'm getting to the point why I'm saying this and how it ties to the So Frail conversations. Because it's man talk. You feel me? Ooga. But nah. So I'm putting in these numbers and I'm like, all right, I got my hitting a raw ad, I got that down to 10 cents per conversion. So for every dollar I'm putting in, I'm meeting 10 people out of 300 to 400 people. You see what I'm saying? Now, percentage wise, phenomenal. That's when I looked at it on a real scale, like that means that if I'm out in public, like if I'm really out in public and I meet 100 people, and it, like I'm not running into 100 people in a day's time. I'm just not my physical body. But let's say I went to a mall and I randomly just seen 100 people. Now, this is what it's equivalent to because I'm liking it to the fact that I'm using the audience that is like the one that I'm looking for, but nothing like them. This is completely cold. I don't know these niggas. Like dead ass, I don't know these niggas, bro. So when I'm looking at it from that perspective, I'm like, bruh, I did this shit with little to nothing. So it's like if I went to the mall and out of the 200 people that I see in the mall, I get 10 people to fuck with me for one brand. Now this now translates to all of my brands at one time. You see what I'm saying? But if I wasn't keeping record of my metrics, I would never know where I was failing or where I needed to improve, where I needed to adjust, where I needed to stay sane. You feel what I'm saying? In life, a part of our relentless nature is being able to spot that. You see what I mean? When I say I got caught up in that insanity loop, when I was like, when I started slipping this shit, I wasn't paying attention to my metrics like that. To the point where I'm like, all right, this works, this don't. Cut this, add this, and shit like that. So now, when we're looking at our now this is whatever goal we're looking at. Do you want to graduate from college? Do you want to, save money to do this investing thing? Like whatever. Like, what are your metrics to determine your results? Because otherwise, you're now moving in a space of entitlement because you're only working for a reward. This goes back to the series, the thing that we've been fucking with the whole week almost. When you are disciplined with metrics that validate your results, you know how to produce the result again. You're not in the space of I'm doing this because I know that I'm gonna get this reward. The beautiful thing about what I do is the reward was never the money. It was the desired result. Now, once I started putting the metrics to the results came faster. Because it's like, I know that if I do this, that, and the third, and actually learning how to advertise and market taught me that. It was one thing, like I said, initially, when I would just boost the post and hit some numbers and shit, and like, oh, I sold like 8 books today. Oh, all right, cool. But now selling 8 books, knowing why I sold 8 books is different. Like if I just boosted the post and said, hey, these people just happen to like it. I intentionally set this shit up to make these 8 motherfuckers like my shit. It's different. It goes from beginner's luck to veteran's experience. All of that has is like relentless. Being relentless is what takes you through that whole path because you got to be persistent. You got to persevere. You feel what I'm saying? You got to be resilient. Resiliency and relentlessness, they have to go hand in hand. Your resiliency is one of the, that's one of the, resiliency is one of the quintessential pieces that make all of this shit work. That's what makes you relentless. You feel what I'm saying? Resiliency is basically, I can't quit. And it's not even that you can't, you won't. When you are in a space that, when relentless is when you can tie the resiliency into the shit and you can say, I won't quit. I won't give up. Even when shit ain't working. Right now, knowing that I set up my entire business model on Instagram and they've been fucking with me I should have gave up a long time ago. But I knew what result I was going for. So I didn't for me, it wasn't about the reward. Oh, this ain't working for me, this, that, and the third. No, nigga, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Because something is going to break, and I can when I finally learn why it's not working, it's easy to make it work. You feel me? It's so easy to make it work. And I figured this out. Like, this is when I was not selling cars. I was valeting and shit. And my supervisor taught me how to fix the gate. So I know how to fix it. I know how to break it. So when there would be times when we would be short tips and shit, statutes of limitations, we clear. But there would be times when we'd be short tips. And while we were short tips, we'd be like, yo, fuck that. We need some bread, bro. So I'm like, I'll call it a flash. I'm like, yo, go flash the motherfucking. I'm like, yo, go flash the machine. All right, cool. So we'll flash the machine. And then we'll say the card reader ain't working. So you got to pay with cash. You feel me? They're like, oh, I ain't got cash. Well, you got to go into the hotel, go to the ATM or whatever the case may be. They was like, this all I got. All right, cool. Well, I call it even. I'll let you out, yo. Just because I got a line that's backed up. And we'll pocket the money. That's it. We would pocket the money. And we would split it because we would it was like Robin Hood type shit. You feel me? We had good intentions. We had good intentions and we didn't overdo it. Well, I didn't when I had them doing it. But then when I left, they started doing crazy shit. But it was reasonable. You feel me? When you know how something works, you know how to break it. Now, when you know how something is broken, you know how to make it work. Same difference or same reality and shit. So these are things that I was learning, things that I was applying. Like, why is it not working? So I'm like, all right, bet. I started learning about hashtags and shit, and then the introduction of not the introduction, but the popularity of the reels and the music and shit started growing. But I started paying attention to that shit. I'm like, huh, this shit is different. So I was experimenting. I like to experiment with shit. Like that's a part of my results. I gotta experiment to shit. So if you remember, there was a time when I was just doing I would make a post and I'll put the Erykah Badu on it. Damn, y'all feel that? Oh, and then it's like off on and on. And one day I decided to click it and click the song, and I'm like, oh, these are all the people, all the things that are associated with that. That's interesting. But my shit was way at the bottom because it was the newest one. So anybody who had been spinning for a long period of time, as far as the reel goes, they're in the shit like 20, 30,000 up. And I'm like, my little shit ain't got that many in it. How do I get to the top? Then it was like, fuck how you get to the top. How do you control the sound? You feel me? I can't control another artist's sound because there's different people. I said, So in that time, I started testing my jam sessions again. I'm like, I think I should do this for myself. Might as well. I do it anyway. The fuck? So when I started testing the waters with the jam sessions and shit, that's when I started to see, okay, they don't block the music. Why? Why don't they block the music? Like your hashtag can be shadow banned, your captions can be shadow banned, but the motherfucking songs will never be, because it's business involved. There's big money involved in, we gonna play this music. Now imagine if the deal is we'll take 20% for every stream that's made. Now the streams run a little bit different on social media and shit because nigga, you can you can have a funny ass reel and a motherfucker can loop that shit 18 times. One person. Imagine 30,000 people doing that shit. You feel me? Imagine 30,000 people doing that shit. So now you have to realize, wow, there's no way they're not gonna fuck up their 20%. Nigga, if I'm able to get $20 for every $100 you can generate, I'm gonna help you generate that $100. That's basic. That's good business. If I allow you to give me $20 for every $100 you make on my platform, cool. I'm gonna fuck with you. I'm gonna fuck with you. So I started understanding this and I started studying that in the background. But in between time, I was simultaneously testing my jam sessions in between. You feel me? Since like 2018. Like this is a whole methodical plan that I've been working out for a long time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Since 2018, I've been like, yo, let me see how they like my music, how they fuck with my music. I'll give you one randomly. Motherfucker like, yo, y'all wait till they come in all the time. If y'all fuck with this, like y'all wait till they are hitting y'all over the head. Once I get everything high, 100% needed. So when I actually got into it, I said, let me drop my jam session. That reception was great. But I said, damn, I ain't gonna get paid off this one. Delete. Nope. But I was testing the waters, seeing checking the results. I was like, all right, here's the metrics for that. I know that I'm gonna get off of this. Here's what I'm gonna get off of this. I know that if I play the whole song, they're not gonna listen to it all the way because they got short attention spans, and I'm already using big words and complex shit that they ain't gonna get in the first place. Now, if I cut it in the clip, boom, I got the attention, bam, 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 keep them going. I started consolidating and learning the results. Now, taking the results and making metrics out of it and improving the results for the future. So now, this goes back into what I was saying about the most recent post about the stories when I was like, yo, I finally got out of the shadow band and I beat their ass. Because in this entire battle, I came out on top. Yeah, seeing you, if you paying them 20%, you didn't come out. I did come out on top because I pay them 20% for the usage on social media. But I get paid anytime it's played. So because of the publishing and because I have the pro rights, which is the pro rights are basically the publishing, the recording, the masters, the artists, like all of that's considered pro rights. I write my own music, I produce my own beats, and I run my own shit. I don't have a record label. I don't need none of that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, there's absolutely no middleman unless I put a middleman there, which is the middleman who does my sync license and the shit. To, hey, we'll go pitch this shit. All right, go do that shit. You get 50-50. I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing that part of the work. I make the art. But I still get paid the most. So when they do the 50-50 split and they go out and they, deliver it out, they get 50% that one time, but anytime it's streamed. So if my shit gets moved into a Google ad or it gets moved into a TV show or some shit like that, like I get paid every time that shit is streamed. Now, when you have 1 million viewers on a TV show or 1 million streams in a Netflix special or some shit like that, I get paid off of each one of those times my shit showed up. That's the music business. They don't want to tell you about that. They just want niggas to be artists and shit. This is why they say you need to own your master so you can do something with them. You feel what I'm saying? But I digress. So in that, when it comes to that part, Instagram is only going to get 20% of the shit being on Instagram. Not the whole song, not the whole session, not the beat, not the lyrics, none of that shit. They don't get paid for that. They get paid 20% for keeping it on social media. Now, because of the way social media works, we reward you for keeping people on the app. Oh, I'm going to keep niggas on the app. I'm going to keep them on the app. But now I'm going to put my music on it. So I'm going to end each one of my jam sessions with Paula Cafe, purposely. Since you bitch niggas want to shut me down and say I can't say peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, since you want to put me in a shadow ban every time I say Paula Cafe, now I'm gonna flex on you hard. You can't shadow ban me when I say Paula Cafe now because it benefits you, bitch. Resilience is a motherfucker. Resilience and relentless, and you gotta have that relentless nature to know that what I want, I'm going to get. Unless it's pussy. Unless it's pussy, like, you feel me? Have your limitations with that shit. You feel me? Like, and nothing's gonna stop me from getting it, except for pussy. Have your limitations with that shit. Stop, no, and don't are very respectable words that you have to listen to and you have to adhere to, nigga. I don't give a fuck. You could be mid-stroke, damn near about to bust it. She say, stop, no more. Get the fuck out. Do whatever you gotta do, but get the fuck out. Feel me? I gotta put that disclaimer in there because sometimes y'all niggas take shit too far. Y'all ain't right. You feel me? Something wrong with y'all niggas. But in that, I had to look at it from, let's keep it going. Like, there is no stopping this, bro. There is no stopping this. So now I'm at a space where now I'm moving at a more comfortable space where I'm like, all right, now let me make this gym session. Now, the entire business model that I wanted is finally almost 100% in motion. Like y'all, I'm like 97%, right? So the ultimate thing is, and this is what I saw from the beginning, right? When I said, yo, I want to be able to make money on social media. Like I said, I want to get paid to be on social media. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't want social media to pay me. I want to get paid to be on social media. I want them niggas. I had to realize the game, the art of being an influencer, the celebrity, all of that shit. I'm not trying to be those things, but I understand their business models. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all, you get paid to keep people entertained. That's easy for me to do. But in addition to that, I'm going to get paid. So whether it be from you seeing one of my posts that has my song on it. Now, that's one of the things that I want to mention. Let me finish this point, then I'll get back to that. So whether you're seeing one of my posts that got a song on it, whether you're seeing one of my ads, whether you listen to my podcast and you're getting another ad there, like there's like nobody else is on my shit but me. I personally, I don't give a fuck who got what to say about what. I feel like that's one of the biggest flexes I could ever do on any motherfucking body. I sponsor my own shit all the way around. Like the ad placements that are in my shit, they not other motherfuckers, they're mine. You feel what I mean? When I run my ads and shit, at the end of the day, yeah, I have to pay Facebook to keep my ads running, but at the same time, it keeps people on my page. So technically, Meta pay me back. Look, quote unquote, they're Facebook ads, they're Meta ads, but you're using Facebook system to set them up and send them to Instagram. And because how I engage on Instagram's gonna pay me. So at the end of the day, it's like nigga, one hand wash the other. Y'all niggas shadow ban me for a long time. Y'all gonna give me everything back. Everything back. Everything and then some. And then you're gonna realize that you can't do the shit again. Because now I'm a cash cow for you. But then the type of cash cow that I am, I get a bigger cut of that. Yeah, for every $100, right, that this particular stream generates, that this particular session generates, you're gonna get 20. That's cool. But off this session, I'm gonna generate more than that. Relatively. I can't like, I'm using the numbers that's easy to break down. But you see what I'm saying? Even if for every dollar you're gonna get 20 cents, I get 80. But at the same time, that's just for this one. But how much does this now bring me? Because now it expands my audience. Now it creates multiple worlds. So each one of my gym sessions has a world connected to it now. Because I'm now putting each one of my posts, reels, and all of that shit into this space. So now when you click that song, you see my reel that came from a clip of that, and then you see my regular posts and shit. I got a whole, it's a web. And then now my ads are now running to it. So I don't look at the Facebook running the ads and shit as like how much money. I don't look at it as spending money on ads anymore. I look at it as accelerating the process. This is when I was talking about like when it comes to the Millionaire Fast Lane. It's like, yeah, I can do it, but it's time over money. Now, I know that because of what I've learned advertising, branding, and marketing wise, I can now run that in the ad system. For me, it's just not about boosting posts. It's about having a specific result that I know I'm going to get. I know that if I post this at this particular point, at this particular time, I can get this, but I said I can't physically do that. So here's my audience. This is what time they run. I need you to run my shit between this particular time. Now, with this particular one, I need you to do all these things. All of this information and this insight and this shit that I'm saying right now developed from the resiliency, the perseverance, and the dedication, the discipline to be relentless with what I knew was going to happen. The biggest part of that resiliency and that relentless nature was having to fight the conglomerate. Right now in our lives, every man, we're going to face some shit where we got to fight a conglomerate of some sort. This is what separates the quote unquote men from the boys. All of that shit. They want to talk about all of the other things that separate men from the boys, except the actual things that separate men from the boys. The perseverance, the determination, the resiliency, the relentless nature that keeps you in the game. You feel me? The relentless nature that we all got it in us. Some of us just don't know how to tap into it, and some of us won't tap into it. Because sometimes when it's time to tap into it, like I said, that behemoth, it hit you. That shit hit hard. That shit hit hard as fuck. I ain't even gonna hold you. I could have quit a long time ago. I should have quit. According to some people, I should have quit a long time ago. Because it's like, damn, bro, they keep fucking with you. I know they keep fucking with me, but I'm gonna beat their motherfucking ass. I'm gonna get them to stop fucking with me. Like, I'm gonna get them to stop fucking with me in my favor. Like, I promise you. I promise you. Like, I promise you. I knew that I was gonna be able to do this shit. I knew it. You feel what I'm saying? Because I understand what they do and I understand how they make this shit work. You feel me? This is why it's a free app. You feel me? This is why social media is free. It's not free, but it's free. You feel what I'm saying? We're making so much money on the back end that we can give it to free on the front end. Oh yeah, you gonna have me on the back end then? Like, yeah, okay. Let me fuck with you on that then. So it's like the reward of keeping people. This is what I was saying. So when I was talking about when I was telling in the stories, like, yeah, capitalism. I love capitalism because I know how to use it against capitalists. Oh, y'all think? See, the thing about it, and this is what I hate: the fact that people don't understand how to use things off of both directives. They're like, I don't want to be a capitalist because you think capitalism only works on poor people. If you think that, then that's how you would capitalize, only on poor people. You feel what I'm saying? Like when people look and say billionaires are evil people, and they don't want it, because that means that if you became a billionaire, you're not gonna look out for the people that you like. You feel me? You don't have to be a billionaire to do that shit. You have to understand capitalism and know who to use capitalism for. I'm not gonna use capitalism against the motherfuckers who don't have capital. I use it against the motherfuckers who do. You feel me? I'm gonna exploit the fuck out of capitalism. I love that shit. So as you know what I'm saying, I'm breaking down coming out of shadow ban and shit. Like I posted it. Like my numbers have significantly increased in the last 30 days. And I knew, and I said, you know what? And I told myself, I said, I said, I'm not coming out. I'm not doing certain shit until I know for a fact every result is going to produce what I wanted to do. So, like I said, if you were following it, you seen me post the actual link and how instantly I posted it, and like 6 seconds later it says, this session was synced to this. I got you niggas. That's the one thing I wanted to wait for. So when I know that the moment I post this shit, y'all automatically connect my shit. The same way, the moment I post some shit, y'all say, "Oh, this is copyright infringement. They don't play this in this particular place." You don't. I'm on the other side of that shit now. No, I already greenlit my shit. I already cleared my shit with me, motherfucker. Post my shit. Post it. I already cleared it with me, nigga. This is mine. This is mine. Snap of the finger. Let's go. You feel what I'm saying? And now it goes, and now it creates its own little world. So now when people hear my jam sessions, when people see my jam sessions that are associated with that, now when they see the post that came from that jam session or anything like that, it's like, hey, because you like this, you like that, it's the new hashtag. I don't think anybody's doing this yet. I'm pretty sure nobody's doing this shit because it took me a long, what I'm doing is different, but it works. You feel me? It's working for me. Coming back for season 12, there's going to be a lot of different changes to the podcast itself too, because I'm going to have more ads, not more ads, but my ads are going to have my own, like I'm working on actual theme songs for each individual. Yes, I stole it from 50, nigga. So the fuck what? I'm having theme songs for each of my brands. So Frail's going to have its own song. Master in the Market going to have his own song. Polycafe Clothing going to have its own song. The actual Justine website is going to have its own song. Each one is going to have its own unique sound. In addition to that, so when I run ads, it's all psychological, bro. So now when I run ads, I'm putting just the instrumental on the ad. So now when you see my ad and you hear my ad, it's like, oh shit, I heard that in the podcast. Yep, it's all me. All of this shit is connected. It's a big ass fucking web. But it was about ultimately the resiliency of making sure, you know, this should have been an Entrepreneur News episode now that I think about it, but fuck it. Well, you'll know it's an Entrepreneur News episode on the low. But at the end of the day, in the core today, it's about ultimately the resilience I had to continue doing this shit. That's one of the things that separates humans in many regards. Like, it's not just, this wasn't just about man shit. This was about, you know, entrepreneurship. But from the man's perspective, it's like, as men, we're designed, we're wired, and we're conditioned 100% to be relentless with what we want. But we choose fruitless pursuits to be relentless about. It takes a lot to push through something bigger than you, bigger than you. You feel what I'm saying? Because what one of the things that this is why they tell you, you got to have a drive that make you have a why, right? I always knew that my why was my great granddaughter, right? I already knew that, and I knew that I did not. I saw what was coming early. Useless class, people not being able to retire. Like I saw it. I saw it. I seen it. I said, nigga, no, my kids ain't going through this shit. I will not bring another generation of my bloodline into this motherfucker. I promise you that. Not to go through this shit again. You feel what I'm saying? But that was a part of the tenacity. But even deeper than that, it was my resilience to. It wasn't that I couldn't quit. I just wouldn't. Quitting was easy. Like and everybody was telling me, like I heard it a lot. Like, yo, you can, you can still. I could still go back and be a forensic pathologist. I could still go into the medical field. I could still go into these different places. And they're like, because I won't. I know that what I'm producing is going to significantly eclipse all of that shit when it's done. You just don't see it done yet. I already seen it done and created. I'm just filling in the gaps. You're not seeing it. You got to have a relentless tenacity to fill in the gaps. And this could be whatever gaps that you feel you need to fill. The moment you set out a goal, that's it. The goal, see, we look at the goal solely for the reward and not the actual experience that gives us the results. When I set a goal, I don't look at getting the goal. I look at the results that are produced from the path of the goal. You feel me saying? Feel what I'm saying? When you only focus on the goal, you're only going to do the required work to achieve the goal. I'm gonna say that again. When you focus on the goal, you're only gonna do the required work to achieve the goal. For example, if you say, I want to make $50 every day. You feel what I'm saying? You're gonna do what's required to make $50. That's it. But I achieved my goal. I know you achieved your goal. Now, when you say, I want to develop a process, or I want the results of producing 50, now you can scale it. Now you can say, oh, if I can do this if this input gives me this output, increase the input to increase the output. Now, this is where your metrics comes in, because this is just all life as a whole. Now, when you start to increase the input and you don't get the output, you realize something's off. And a lot of times it starts off that way. My input is my output. My input does my output. For example, if you say I want $50 a day, you put in the input and you get $50 a day. You say I want 100, you double that. You double the input, double the output. Now it gets to a point where you double in the input, but the output isn't changing. There's something wrong. Something wrong. Now you got to revisit your results. You see what I'm saying? Now you got to revisit your results. And now when you revisit your results, you have to break that down. And now you have to switch the reality into a new relentless pursuit. Because now it's about shedding fat and shedding skin and getting things cleaned up the right way. So yeah, this entire episode may have been about me talking about but it was my relentless reality of beating an algorithm. And I even made a post at the time of this recording yesterday about someone who was saying, it was in my stories, I ain't really post it. It was like, I wanted to be an artist, not try to figure out the algorithm. No, the algorithm figures you out. When you pay the algorithm gets you right. But see, you got to understand that they're not. One of the hardest realities is that people assume everything is free. And the freest shit is the most expensive shit you got to pay for. So when you're looking at social media and you're like, I'm on a free program, a free app, free this, free that, and I'm not getting lucrative results. You're not doing lucrative shit. Now, I'm not saying that that's not possible, but I'm saying it's like, when you know the algorithm, it's like, I shouldn't have, no, your fans, your audience, whoever it is you're looking for, they're going to find you. Now you have to have an attention with what you like. My result isn't fans. So my result isn't fans. My result isn't people that like songs. My result isn't people that like to dance and shit. Well, I ain't gonna hold you, it is, bro. Because the way that I have a result that I'm looking for. And it's solely to focus on building around a jam session. That was another part that I was going to mention too. So now with that, I'm now moving into another space where now The new styles that are going to be coming, as far as the merch goes and shit like that, it's going to be solely tied to a jam session. Whenever I get the jam session, whatever is one of the hottest bars or whatever the hottest schemes or whatever the case may be that I feel the most, I make a shirt out of it. T-shirt, hoodie, whatever. I make whatever I want to out of it. When I actually get ready to record the motherfucker, I actually have it on me because I've already rehearsed it in practice. And then I just record it and shit. And then now I advertise that shit myself. Now, it's now being tied to a whole different world. Now, all of the posts that I make that I end with Paula Cafe that are tied to this particular session are now in that pool too. So now when you go looking for me and all it, like, this is what it shows you. And I learned this because what social media does is they'll show you, hey, we're suggesting this based off of what you either listened to or what hashtags you clicked. If you've noticed, if you hit reels, if you get certain content, it has a song that you've listened to or similar sound. That's where the trending audio and shit is. I don't need to be trending, but I know that my content is so potent that people that are liking it, oh, it's going to keep showing you what's associated with this song. It thinks you like the algorithm because it's still not a human. The algorithm thinks you like the song. That's why you like the post. It doesn't know that you like the post whether you heard the song or not. AI is only as smart as the people that can program the motherfucker. If you're smarter than the programmers, the fuck, you feel me? So at the end of the day, the AI algorithm doesn't look and say, hey, they like this post. No, they like this song. So we're going to show you more of that. So now when I do the jam session to show my face, oh, this is the person that made that post. Yep. I don't have to worry about the hashtags no more. Hashtags is out anyway, because when you're using different hashtags for different systems, it doesn't know. It now broadens you out to crazy people. You may have a motherfucker, and again, this is how I learned this shit. You may have a motherfucker who fucks with the masculinity hashtag, but don't fuck with the femininity hashtag, and now they met your page. Because you know what I'm saying? Somehow you cross the lines with that shit. I ain't worried about that shit. I don't use the hashtags anymore. I just use my music and I make my posts. Now, when you post and y'all share my shit in y'all stories, y'all send it to y'all friends and shit like that, they're in my pool now. They're not just in my audience pool solely from the ads. No, they're in my music pool too. So now, if they like this post, next time I put this gym session on that shit, they're going to show them a post too. Now, because it just so happens that all my content correlates and it's the same, you feel what I'm saying? Everything that aligns correctly. So you'll likely see, oh, damn, he did have a deep post that had just seen on the shit. Okay, I remember this person. Now I'm branding. You feel what I'm saying? So now when I make this association and I make this connection and now you see the song with the shit, I got you. And it's a beautiful reality now because it's like once I build up the momentum that I want, nah, I ain't even gonna do that. Because I was thinking about like saying I'll stop running my ads, but I don't even want to do that because if I keep it as a post, then it's gonna be spammy. And I don't want that to happen because that's another thing that can stop you. When it looks spammy, like you're posting the same shit all the time. If you're gonna spam, you pay for ads. All right, nigga, I'll pay for the ads. But now I can pay for the ads in a different context. And the ads can pay for themselves. You feel what I'm saying? This was a whole reality and a whole battle that a whole mountain that I had to climb. And I wanted to share this story and I wanted to share this like in detail because for one, it just, a lot of the shit is just recent. Like when I say it's growing like a motherfucker, it's growing like a motherfucker. Like literally a month ago, I was still dealing with the shadow ban. I told you I was coming out of the motherfucker, but I knew when I come out this motherfucker, I'm not going back. I promise you, I'm not going back when I come out this motherfucker because I know how they shadow ban me. When you know how something works, you know how to break it. And I get it. That's what they say about the system. You get when you know how something works, you know how to break it or you know how to use it, right? Certain systems, certain systems are so in play, you can't break them. I can't go into the justice system thinking I'm gonna change this shit. I understand that. I realize that about myself, and I realize about humanity. Like, no, y'all can't you can't be educated in the system thinking you're gonna break the system. That's the system. The fuck? We want you. It's like, yep, I'm gonna be a lawyer. I'm gonna learn the whole game. I'm gonna learn everything they do. Nigga, that's the system. They bank on that. They bank on that because if you come in this motherfucker and shit thinking you gonna change shit, you not. Because now you get blackballed. Now you get banned. You feel what I'm saying? You can't make no changes in this motherfucker. We look at Johnny Cochran and think he really made a change and shit. Like he's a lot of people be looking at, well, Johnny Cochran, he's one. Yeah, I fucks with Cochran. I fucks with him. But it wasn't the fact that he did anything spectacular. What Johnny Cochran did was largely what I did. You feel what I'm saying? He said, hey, nah, I just used the system. This is how the system is used. You feel me? I just learned how to use it. I didn't try to break it. I didn't try to stop it because I knew that I couldn't. I just used it and showed them its flaws. You feel what I'm saying? So now, in that regard, when I'm putting myself into that space, I'm like, I just use the system. I didn't go in trying to break it, saying fuck the algorithm and this shit. Oh, this is how you work. Now I know how you work. Now I know how to use. Now I know how to break you, and I know how to use you in my favor. You feel what I'm saying? So even if like you might not see one of my posts and shit, and this is what I was meaning about a suggested post. You might not see one of my posts the day that I posted, but you're gonna see it 3-4 days later, or even a week later, or some shit like that. You know why? Because it's associated with the music that you're listening to. It's the music that I'm giving you, which is Instagram paying me to have it on their platform. And I'm giving them 20% to have it on their platform. And then the more it's like, you feel me? It's like, oh, we know that you produce content that people share. I know. I know. Oh, so we got it. Yes. Fuck you. Pay me like nasty hookers. I don't forgive. I don't forget. I don't hold grudges and shit. But I do know that when you play with me, I'm gonna play back. I don't think y'all like that's I definitely really wanted to have this episode because it's like resiliency and tenacity, like resilience, relentlessness is that's the only thing that got me through. Like I knew that I had come too far on this journey to stop. So I had to figure out how to get through. You feel me? When you've been shadow banned, when you built your brand off of, and this is one of the things, and I'm saying this, and I'm gonna try to wrap it up for real. This is one of the things that they say. What do you do? They teach you to have an email list. I don't have an email list. I don't want one. I do not want to send y'all emails saying, hey, look, you should do this. I want to live my life. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. Like, the fuck. Only emails that I really send out are when I do Iwi and tell them I got some shit for them. Like, that automatically sends an email out. But other than that, I don't send no fucking emails out. I just don't. Because I don't want to. Like, I don't feel like I need to. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's like what I do doesn't rely on that. So I'm not mad at the people that need one. I built my shit up to not need one. I don't need an email list. Oh, I didn't get an email from. I don't send the motherfuckers out. You don't look for email from me. The fuck? You feel me? But at the same time, I'm able to say, I'm saying that to say this when they say, well, what would you do if they shut your page down? Or how did you do, what would happen if the internet shut down shit? The internet ain't going nowhere. I understand that. Internet ain't going nowhere. The motherfuckers that still think that it might go somewhere if the internet shut, you crazy. You're not paying attention to the signs. And the fact that if the internet does shut down, that means the world stops. So either way, I'm good. Like, either way, I'm good. It's like, if the internet shut down and shit, like, motherfuckers like, what are you going to do, nigga? What are we going to do? Not me, nigga. If that shit shuts down and everything is tied to the internet, nigga, the world is over. Fuck, have fun, nigga. Live, be merry, and be cheerful. We ain't got to worry about shit no more. You feel what I'm saying? Because everything is tied digitally to the internet. But it's so much tied digitally to the internet, it ain't going nowhere. So I'm not worried about that shit. But what if the app shut down? What if the app shut down? It just shut down. I'm gonna go do some trading and investing. Books are still gonna get printed. I don't give a fuck. Like, none of that shit is gonna matter to me in a way. But I'm looking at it from that perspective because when people say, well, you make sure you have an email list just in case your shit gets shut down. If my shit gets shut down, I just start a new one. And I mean that in the way in which that because of the way everything is set up, it's not going to take me as long as it did before. Because I know how to fight. I know what the battle is. So they're like, what'd you do if they're not going to shut me down? I'm making the money. They're not going to shut me down. And I'm not saying that as a means to flex or to stunt on motherfuckers and make them feel like, no, I'm telling you, like, I make them money so they're not going to shut me down. They'd be stupid. They'd be foolish. The way my shit has gone from in 30 days, because I knew what was gonna happen. I knew. I just didn't know it was gonna be like this, because I know that Before shadow ban, my content was reaching 30,000 people a month. Right? Since refining and coming back and understanding the shadow ban and shit, now I'm reaching 120 a month, 120,000 a month. And it's growing. It's still going up. I don't have a limitation on the shit now. It's going on an exponential rate. It's wild. You feel me? I'm seeing all of my old people. I'm seeing all the old faces I ain't seen in a long time and shit. They're like, nigga, where you been? Nigga, I've been here. These motherfuckers had me muted, bro. I'm back now though. And now I'm at a point where I'm just pinpoint precision it. You feel what I'm saying? It's growing. It's growing and it's like, I had somebody say one time, well, you got 7,000 followers. You don't give a 15 likes. Bitch, I'm muted. The fuck? But I'm going to find my way around that. I know how to post the bullshit. One of the things that I got right now that's going viral, and it's one of the dopest realities ever. It's still going. It's the one I made a post. I stole a post. Content was already made. I don't give a fuck about social media. The content is already made. So the shorty is in the bed naked and shit, and dude send a picture talking about, the text is, yo, text me when you wake up so I can hear your voice or whatever the case may be or whatever. And it's like, yo, she good, bro. And it's sending a picture. It's going viral, but guess what's attached to it? My song Glitching on the Matrix. Keep going, nigga. Y'all keep sharing that shit. I don't give a fuck about that bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that bullshit because every time it keeps going. And look, they're going to keep pushing it. And I used to be like, before all of this actual setup, Instagram always sharing my bullshit, but they don't ever want to share my logic and my thoughts and my profound shit. Only my profane shit. Use that to your advantage. Make sure whoever gets your profane shit also gets your profound shit. How? Connect something to it. Well, I can't use hashtags. Hashtags don't work because you got to keep changing hashtags. It's going to look like spam. It doesn't look like spam when it's a song. Check and checkmate. I told y'all I was going to beat these niggas, bro. I told y'all I was going to beat these niggas. I told y'all I was going to beat these motherfuckers, bro. So the one that's, like I said, it's still going viral. It's my song. It's off my session, Glitching in the Matrix. Now, because of that, if you actually click on the song Glitch in the Matrix, you see all the other content that I posted. And that's how my shit has been growing so quick. Because people click it and they only see my content. Why? Because it has not been set up as a quote unquote trending audio. My shit isn't popping. So while motherfuckers is looking at it the wrong shit, like they're like, yo, that shit ain't popping. I don't give a fuck if it's not popping because it is popping. You just don't know why it's popping and you don't know how it's popping. You don't have to see that little arrow beside my shit to realize that it's trending audio because my shit is being pushed. Yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah, it's fucking drama. Yeah, it's fucking sarcastic shit. But it's leading you to some powerful shit because once you see that particular song Glitching in Matrix and you go to that sound audio, you're going to see my philosophical thoughts. You're going to see my other images and my other thoughts that go with that shit. And you're only going to see mine there. And then you're going to see my reels and see my face. And now the name and the person now go together and you're seeing all of the shit work in hand. And then when you see my ads, oh, damn, then they go to, yes, nigga, all of this shit go together and it's a web and you ain't leaving this motherfucker. These niggas want me to keep people on social media. Goddamn, I'm gonna keep people on social media, but in some way, shape, or form, you're giving me my paper. You're gonna give me my paper. You're gonna sell a book for me. You're gonna sell a course for me. You're gonna give me a podcast stream. And if you get them to my motherfucking podcast, guess what? I'm giving them 3 more ads right after that. Hey y'all, I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to brag in a flexing way, but it's joy, bro. It's not bragging. This is pure joy. This is pure euphoria. There's no trauma here. There's no pain. It's like, this is pure joy. And it sounds like bragging because I'm ecstatic about what the fuck I've accomplished. My relentless tenacity, my relentless mentality to push through this motherfucker and keep going and not give up is what has me here. You feel what I'm saying? And sometimes we get so wrapped up hearing the stories about the person and, their overcoming story and all of that shit. We look at it from the point of embrace the joy too. Like, there's joy in this shit. It's not just a fight the whole time. And the aftermath isn't just the fight that you got to flex and be mad about and say, yeah, nigga, I'm dead. Enjoy your joy. A part of your relentless tenacity, your relentless behavior is the fact that you push through to achieve something and you produce the desired result that you wanted. Bask in that shit. Bask in that shit. If they call you a narcissist, if they call you arrogant, if they call you whatever the case may be, fuck them. fuck them. You know why? Because it can't be any more narcissistic or arrogant than a motherfucker who feels entitled to some shit that they were not relentless for and they put absolutely no motherfucking work in for. And don't forget to check out Cafe Clothing, formerly Just Scenes merch. Get all of your intricate designs crafted specifically for the melanated being to develop a positive imagery within self and to have a little bit of fun in the process. From the peace, love, knowledge, and freedom to the dead horses and water designs, all of the styles are crafted for the imagery to make you feel as you're supposed to feel. Because as I always say, the best way to fit in is to stand out. And what better way to stand out than with your exclusive styles from Cafe Clothing. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. But yeah, that's Relentless. Like I can tell you all day long. Yeah, I use Kobe in an example and shit, but I can't give you certain things. I can't give you any other example other than myself because I can't tell you that something is doable or something is achievable without telling you what I did to achieve it. You see what I'm saying? This one no easy shit. Don't get me wrong. This ain't no shit I can tell you, yo, you're gonna do in 2 days. I'm gonna help you get. No, I ain't even gonna play with you, bro. And if you want me to show you how I did this, you're gonna have to pay me a hefty amount of money to do this. But it's not something that I can just skate over. And I can't continue like a motivation. What I learned about motivational speakers, they sound good telling you other people's stories. They give you a few of their own, but no, motivational speakers tend to give you other people's stories and sound good doing it. Inspirational speakers can give you their own. Yeah, they might throw in a little motivation in, but they mainly telling you their own stories. Like, this is what the fuck I did. You feel what I'm saying? When I speak on being relentless, I don't just speak on it from the sense of, hey, my brother, this is what you got to do. No, nigga, this is what I was. This is what I am. This is what the fuck I like. I fought. I fought. I was just making well, technically by the time I haven't made the post yet. It's still on my phone. But I was saying, don't let what you're fighting eclipse what you're fighting for. And this was before I even started recording this podcast, but I had said that thought came to me. It was like, don't let what you're fighting eclipse what you're fighting for, because that's what happens. Relentless, to be relentless and resilient, all of that shit is to lock in to see beyond the fight. It's like, I'm not fighting. I don't give a, yeah, I'm fighting you, but I'm fighting you, but I'm fighting for something and you're in the way. Like, I want you to understand that. Like, sometimes we get so wrapped up in our relentless behavior is when it's like, this is why I won't quit. Because I know some of the people that I'd spoken to were like, I would have gave up a long time ago, because you don't know what I was fighting for. You just saw what I was fighting. Like, it's different. I know what I'm fighting for, and I didn't forget what I was fighting. Some of us right now, and maybe I should have said this at the beginning, but it's good for the end, because if you made it this far, then this message was for you. Some of us are in a space where we know what we're fighting for, and we're letting people tell us about the fight. It doesn't matter. You feel me? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. When people are saying like, yo, this door keep closing for you. All right, bitch, I'm kicking the window in. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm getting in the house. Respectfully, metaphorically, this is not a B&E. It's not talking about breaking and entering. No, none of that shit. Y'all motherfuckers can be weird. But this is about making sure that you know what you're fighting for. The fight no longer matters when you know what you're fighting for. But when you only know what you're fighting, you lose sight of what you're fighting for. You feel what I'm saying? Intentionally creating a why, of which was my great granddaughter. What I'm fighting, I didn't give a fuck what I was fighting. I don't give a fuck what I'm fighting, bro. And a lot of people say, well, why did you choose the great granddaughter instead of the grandson? Because we're in a misogynistic world. We're in a patriarchal world. She's getting the short end of the stick. They already going to get a short end of the stick based off of where we currently are right now. Her stick is going to be shorter than hers because she'll be a woman too. At least the fact that my grandson, my great grandsons will be men. You feel what I'm saying? They can still at least stand on misogyny a little bit. Although I know with So Frail, they're not gonna be on that shit. But I had to focus on If all else fails and they don't have, if none of my bloodline has boys and I just end up with a great granddaughter, that is the who would need me the most. So I need to make sure that she's good. It didn't matter what I was fighting, homie. It legit didn't matter what I was fighting because she fueled me to know that, is this fight worth it? It was worth every fucking moment. Now, if I would just Instagram is shadow banning me, Instagram is shadow banning me. If I was just focused on what the fuck I was fighting, not what I was fighting for, it's like, yo, Instagram is shadow banning me because, you feel me? No, I ain't even gonna say because. I ain't even gonna say because I don't want to seem like Instagram is shadow banning me while I'm building this. Bitch, you gonna get the fuck out the way, nigga. I'm fighting something bigger than you, bro. Move, nigga. No, I am here. All right, bitch. Now I'm gonna find a way around you. Now I found a way around you to capitalize on your stupid ass. To capitalize on the fact that you promote the ignorance and shit. So now, every one of my jam sessions now, this is now going into my catalog. When I say my kids are good, they gonna be good, bro. They gonna be good. My instrument, my beats, all of that shit. All of that shit goes to them. Now it's just on me to have fun and promote the shit. Now all I got to do is be ratchet and regal. Now all I got to do is be the motherfucker I was when my shit was popping before. When motherfuckers, ooh, I like the balance that you have here. Talk that shit, King. This, that, and the third. Tap back into that shit. I don't got to do nothing. Like the profundity now can have merit to it. It always had merit to it, but now it's like, yeah, it is what it is. Cause now it's like, all right, nigga, y'all want to fuck with the hashtags? I can't post 2 hashtags back to back. Now I'm gonna post music on my shit. Now I got a different song that I can post all the time. Because I was fighting for my great granddaughter. I wasn't fighting the Instagram algorithm. Now I get it. But you were saying, yeah, I did. They came to fight me while I was fighting for my granddaughter, my great granddaughter. Some of y'all, if you ever been in a real fight, you feel me? Some of the time the nigga you fighting ain't the fight. Now what I'm fighting for makes me beat your ass. You feel me? You shouldn't have came up, like I was already fighting for something else. And now you came into the fight. All right, it's different. I'm punching through you. If you read Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do book, he specifically says, in a point, he says, when you punch through a target, you don't punch the target, you punch through it. Because if you punch the target, I'm punching through you. Like I'm legit punching through you. Why? Because I'm fighting for something. I'm reaching beyond you. You just happen to be the fight in between. And that's cool. But that's resilient. That's what Relentless is. Relentless is knowing what you're fighting for and disregarding what you're fighting. So I know what I'm going to do. Anything that comes into this fight, you ate. Like you think you coming in to fight, you beat the fuck up because I'm fighting for something. And if you're going to prevent me from achieving what I'm fighting for, you ate, bro. You ate. It ain't no stopping this shit. This is friend, family, or foe. It don't matter. It don't motherfucking matter. I'm fighting for something. So what I'm fighting is always going to be irrelevant. That's what it is to be relentless. That's why you won't quit. That's why you have that resiliency. So you'll be talking to motherfuckers who focus on the fights. That's why that's why some of y'all would give up and quit and get out of a lucrative situation, not push it through because you're not fighting for anything. You're fighting something. You see what I'm saying? With entrepreneurship, it wasn't about fighting. I'm fighting for freedom. I'm fighting for freedom. So the fight of poverty, square up. Square up. You just happen to be in the motherfucking way because I'm fighting for freedom. By default, I'm going to bust your motherfucking ass. You feel what I'm saying? It's little things like that. But it's big things like that that come into us as men when we're growing up and we need to have instilled within us. Resiliency, relentlessness. That relentless is, let them call you perfectionist. Let them call you whatever. Fuck them. Fuck them. Straight like that. Fuck them. What I did and what I started opened the world for other people to be comfortable doing what they're doing. I don't have to get the credit because, again, I'm fighting for something bigger. I was doing something bigger. But if you pay attention, I mean this shit. Pay attention to everybody's podcast right now. Go to my YouTube channel. Just Saying YouTube channel. Go to my first post from 2017. 2017, before niggas even had this shit on Smash like they got it right now. Look whose template they stole. Look at all the black podcasters and shit. Like, look whose template they stole. I bowed out of the game because I'm like, y'all are my kids, bro. And I don't mean it disrespectfully. I don't mean it to be fucked up or no shit like that. But look at the content. They cussing. They able to, oh, I'm able to be free and be myself. You're being just seen, nigga. I ain't gonna be mad at it. I ain't gonna say shit. But just know where it originated from. Numbers don't lie. Timestamps do not lie. The podcast scape right now that you're seeing is a result of what year? Post-pandemic. So 21-ish and on. I've been at this since 2017. I got documented recordation of, oh, y'all stole my whole style. Drake, my whole style, my whole motherfucking flow. But you know why I don't worry about shit like that? Because it shows my own power. And it shows why being relentless is easy for me. And it shows the capacity of when you know what you're doing, what you like. In addition, if you listen to a lot of masculinity conversations that are being had right now, and a lot of people think because, and the fact that I don't use my YouTube channel no more, except for like master the market videos that nobody sees, a lot of people think my page is just gone. So they don't even know about the Just Sing podcast, the physical one, like this one here. So they don't know that I stayed continuing with this shit. So they think they stole some shit from a motherfucker who's inactive. No, you stole a whole style from a motherfucker who's still fluent and watching you niggas still. I just don't give a fuck because I'm on other shit. You feel me? I'm on a bigger shit. That is just a small piece of everything. Like, the small pieces of what I do creates everything for a lot of people. And I'm not saying it to brag. You see the proof. You see what I'm saying? That whole the Just Scene setup that I was doing with the original setup on the podcast and shit, like everybody's doing it now. And I was just, that was just me doing a little piece of myself. Whole conversations on masculinity are on chapters that I've written in the book. Like whole podcasts are being made off of chapters that I wrote. It's different. It's different. But when you understand how different it is and how different you are, you understand what your resilience is, and you know why you won't do something. You know why you won't stop. I know why I won't stop. I know what can't stop me because it's like I'm getting too much fuel watching everybody else beat me. You see what I'm saying? And I mean this modestly. I'm not like, if you haven't heard, like, I promise you, go look up the YouTube channel Just Seen. If you're new here and you think I'm flexing, go look up the YouTube channel Just Seen and look when my first video started. It was like spring of 2017. Spring of 2017. Spring of 2017. If you look at the context in which me sitting on a couch, looking off into the distance, having a conversation and shit, cutting it in little small clips that are less than 5 minutes long at a time and shit. Look at like the whole content landscape is mine. Nobody was doing this. This is a part of the shit that got me shadow banned, because these are some of the things that when I was deleting all of that shit, these were videos I had to find. These were videos that I had to take out. You feel what I'm saying? If you've been here since day one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You seen it. You seen it in real time. And now since 2000, from 2021 up until now, motherfuckers think like, oh, this is they should have never let these motherfuckers stumble across me. They don't have to give me my credit, but I know my essence. I know when it's there. I know when it's there. I know it's there. I had a whole stream of motherfuckers changing their name from to just this, that, and the third, not realizing what Just Seen really meant. I did that. And I'm still continuing to do the shit. So this is why I know now, once my gym sessions start moving, watch, you're going to see a lot more original freestyles. Nobody's just going to be freestyling over beats. They're going to be making their own beats, doing full freestyles. Watch. And I'm not saying it in the sense that they're going to copy me or nothing like that. It's what I bring out of the ethers and what I now bring into reality because of what my relentless nature allows me to do. When I want something created, I'm going to create it. When I want something done, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to put in the necessary work to do that. I'm going to have the perseverance. I'm going to have the passion. I'm going to have the diligence. I'm going to have the resiliency to not quit. And that's what it is that every one of us as men, we have within us. We just got to tap into it and choose to do it. That's one of the biggest realities. The choice. It's not even a choice, it's a decision. That's it. The decision to be at that level. The decision to say, you know what, my nigga, I'm going to do this. I will do this. This is why when I talk about will and it's like these things, like every episode almost that I made up until this point is defined in this episode. This episode could have been a 400th episode or some shit like that, but it's defined up until this point. Every sacrifice I made, every moment that I made, like everything ties into this. When season 12 returns, you're gonna see the full. I'm not ending it. Season 11 ain't nowhere near done yet, but when season 12 finally returns and comes back, you're gonna see, damn, bro, this is what you. Yep. Every ad, everything is. When I open my mouth, when I make a post, whenever I'm present, I'm getting paid. And I'm not saying that because I want to flex and I want to brag and no shit. Fuck that. I'm flexing and I'm bragging, goddamn. This is the joy that I've actually worked to put in. I don't give a fuck about people's traumas no more. You feel me? I'm living in my euphoria and my joy, and these things bring me joy now. Every time social media sees me, I'm getting paid off of it. Anytime I give you something for free, I'm getting paid off of it. I know. It's like, yo, yeah, I'm getting paid off of the free shit too. Y'all don't have to pay for the podcast. I could. You feel me? I could be like, oh, let me make a Patreon. Let me make these things, and I'm only going to give you the good gems and shit. The good. No, I want y'all to get absolutely everything because I don't want y'all running through life looking crazy. The fuck? This shit is premium, grade A quality podcast shit. Ain't nobody teaching y'all like I'm teaching y'all. Ain't nobody giving y'all gems and games that I'm giving y'all. And the gems and games that they give y'all, they make y'all pay for the shit? Nah. And all I ask is that, hey, get the books. Ain't no harm, no foul. You want the books, get the books. If you want to learn some more shit, I'm just making myself available to you. But now certain shit you got to pay for. You're not getting me for free when it comes to mastering the marketing, trading, and investing because you got to be focused. And you only pay attention when you pay. You feel me? So I'm not going to waste my time up here with that. There's little shit like that. Like So Frail conversations. Oh, I want to learn about. So, all right, cool. Listen to the conversations. If you ain't on that time to go to that level. If you are, go read the books. I saw this in my mind. I'm going to say this. I'm going to really wrap it up. This is what that relentless behavior is when you see something so passionate in your mind, so vivid in your mind that you can't help but bring it into reality. The only way you'll have any solace, the only way the anxiety stops, the only way the depression goes away, the only way the problems go away is when you bring it out of your mind. That's it. And your relentless nature says, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get this shit out of my fucking head. And that's what I did. That's what I did. I knew that eventually this shit would be a reality for me because I saw it too vividly. I saw it, and I couldn't just talk about it. I had to actually do it, actually live it, had to get to the point where I started producing results. And by producing results, recording my metrics, by recording my metrics, keeping myself disciplined enough to continue to produce the results, to adjust the necessary metrics, to be relentless. And that's what it's going to take. Whatever dream, whatever idea, whatever thing you can do it. You can do it, but you got to be relentless with it. You got to make that goal. You have to set that plan, and you have to always execute and record your results and change and adjust your metrics as you go till you start to get to a point where this result is automatic. I don't have to do this anymore. I know I'm going to get this. There's nothing to fine tune. Boom, on to the next one. Boom, on to the next one. Now collect your results. Collect your results and then create the system. This is whatever you want to do. If you want to be a basketball player, if you want to do all of these things, find out how to produce the results to be the best or to be whatever it is that you want to do. Understand the reality of what if you can't, what if you don't get there? I get it. Everybody, look, y'all, there's too many of us to try to be basketball players. Every one of us can be a thinker. And every one of us can use that resiliency and that relentlessness to be a high level thinker. You don't just have, everybody can be a high level thinker, bro. Stop thinking that it's like, nah, it's you choose to. It's all in what your choice is. And the free will you choose to do that. You feel me? But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Like this was enough about me. This was enough about me. But I had to share that because I fought him, I fought a behemoth and I won. You feel me? And I feel good about that. I feel real good about that. You feel me? But I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And our sons are already born with a relentless tenacity. We kill it in them. We kill it in them by making them stop, by making them not do certain things, by avoiding how they really feel on the inside and expressing themselves the right way. We kill that shit. We really got to stop killing that shit in our boys. That relentless behavior, the perseverance, the consistency, the dedication. Teach them along the way. Okay, you want to keep doing this. Now learn. Now learn. Don't just keep doing this because that's when it's insanity. Learn this point. You learn. You with that relentless behavior, you learn and you lose. You learn from the losses a lot faster, and you keep pushing. So you keep learning, keep learning, keep learning, keep learning, to the point where the results become automatic because you can't miss if you tried. You have to actually try to miss. You see what I'm saying? That's wild. When you get to a point where you have to try to miss, try to make a mistake because you can't. You've done it so much you can't. That's what it's about. Have that relentless tenacity to push through. Have that and teach our boys the right way to have it. Don't just be out here, you feel me, entitled and shit. That relentless behavior that comes with the result. Now you don't have to worry about your boys feeling entitled. We don't have to worry about that. Oh, he's doing this for what? No, I know that when I put this work in, I'm going to get this result. I'm not rewarded for good behavior. No, I get results, nigga. It's that simple. I get results, and I respect time. I respect the time it takes to get results. You feel me? That's what another part about relentless is, never letting up because you're respecting the time it takes to produce a certain result. You feel me? Make sure our boys know that before they even become teenagers. They be A-okay. But I'm going to go ahead and end it there because it's long as hell. Go kiss your babies and make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm going to see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.